expect records to be broken, with nearly 82 million traveling at least 50 miles from home. According to AAA, the domestic travel forecast includes an additional 1.6 million travelers compared to 2024, which sets a new overall record. It will mark the fifth straight year to see an increase in travelers compared to the prior year, following a major dip in 2020 due to the pandemic. Health officials are warning Illinois residents to expect a possible post-Thanksgiving bump in emergency room visits driven.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 24, windy with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Looking ahead to Thanksgiving Day, mostly sunny with a high near 32, gusty winds up to 35 miles per hour. Currently, it is 31 degrees and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Whether it's morning routines or weekends on the sideline, when the temperature drops, America brings the heat with Hot Hands. Hot Hands are America's favorite hand, toe, neck, even body warmers to help you stay warm and cozy from head to toe. Hot Hands are fast-acting, long-lasting, and made right here in the USA. Look for the Hot Hands logo in the bright orange packages at your favorite store or online. Keep doing what you love out there with Hot Hands, warming up America coast to coast.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark, and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome in to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. Okay, well, this happy hump day is going splendidly already. Not exactly sure what is going on as far as the other main mic, but any hootie, you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN, and it is pre-Thanksgiving Eve, or as everyone out there kind of knows it, it is Black Wednesday. when you go out there, you have a couple of libations because you are going to be celebrating with your family the following day, and you may need, well, might need to be a little lubed up for that. Not necessarily my case, but I know that's kind of how it is with some families out there. You don't necessarily, well, whatever. It's Thanksgiving. It's time to be thankful. I am thankful for all of the listeners out there listening to my voice and putting up with the squirrels in my head currently. And yeah. So what are some of the things that I am thankful for since this is a sports show? Well, I got to say, I am thankful for, I'm thankful for actually being able to see championships for the 4 major teams in the Chicagoland area. The Chicago Bulls, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Bears, who are currently in first place in the NFC North and are going to be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles on Black Friday. Not to be mistaken with Black Wednesday. But they are currently in first place in the NFC North. So, got to go ahead and I got to pound that a little bit. I am also thankful for the Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah, maybe the Chicago White Sox. Definitely the Chicago Cubs as well. Chicago Wolves, I would put in there all the championships that they won while they weren't in the AHL. That goes a long little bit ways away. But, 2016 Chicago Cubs. Check. 2005 Chicago White Sox. Check. Then we've got the 2010, the 2013, and the 2015 Chicago Blackhawks. Check, check, and check. Of course, the Chicago Bulls with their 2 3-peats. So triple, quadruple, quintuple. I don't know what the 6th one is, but yep. Although, truth be told, I wish I would have appreciated Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, and all those guys back in the day when they were accomplishing that feat, because now, oof, it is rough. It is tough. That is for certain. And then the 1985 Chicago Bears, because without that one Super Bowl, man, oh man, waiting until 2006 to get back there to the big dance, only to have Peyton Manning kind of walk all over him, but not really. But it did happen. But anyway, with that being said, those are some of the things that I am thankful for. And if you are tuning in on YouTube at WRMN Radio, hit me up. Let me know what some of your sports things are that you are thankful for. Man, I could have said that a hell of a lot better, but I'm a little out of my comfort zone right now, as you could, if you are paying attention on the YouTube. Yes, I'm sitting way off on the side over here. But if you are listening in on the stick, what are some of the things that you are thankful for? What really gets you going? Yeah, that's still not working. I'm not exactly sure what's going on over here. Got to check that during the break. Maybe a wire's loose or something. But anywho, yeah. So you know what? I am going to take care of that right now. I'm going to take care of a little bit of, try to take care of a little bit of maintenance. And I'll be back on the other side of this short break. You're currently listening to Derrick Geyer on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
Are you suffering with anxiety, depression, PTSD, an eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem? If it's causing problems at work or with your family, get help now at Insight Mental Health and Wellness. We can help and treat all types of depression and mental issues. We'll help you use your insurance to get away from it all to a beautiful, sunny, and tranquil vacation-like environment so you can recharge yourself. And with a Family Medical Leave Act, you can take the time off you need from work. Plus, with the Affordable Care Act, your treatment could be 100% covered. If you're suffering from any kind of anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem, use your insurance and get away from it all. Come to sunny California. Call Insight Mental Health and Wellness now. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. That's 800-419-0287.
Building a house is hard, but have you tried removing one? Flood Brothers takes the mess out of demolition. With fast roll-off dumpster delivery, reliable debris pickup, and a family-owned team that takes service personally. Call 630-261-0400 or visit floodbrothersdisposal.com. Flood Brothers Disposal, proud sponsor of America's First Responders Fest.
America's First Responders Fest began as a simple idea to honor the heroes who serve our community every day. Thanks to the incredible support of the Village of Hampshire, especially Village President Mike Reed, Village Manager Jay Hedges, and Karen Stuhler. This year, that idea came to life. From local residents to small businesses, Hampshire opened its heart to America's First Responders Fest. The support was overwhelming. A true celebration of unity, gratitude, and community pride.
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and we dedicate a lot of our time to going as fast as possible. My grandpa Lou is the reason why my dad and I started racing, and I'm really proud to follow in his tracks. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. I've learned a lot on this journey with my grandpa Lou, and the memories of my grandpa will always be with me. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently, experiencing problems with their memory, or having trouble with routine tasks. Talking about Alzheimer's can be really tough. But if you notice something, have a conversation with your loved one. Encourage them to see a doctor or offer to go with them. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services, make a plan for the future, and access available treatments. The Alzheimer's Association provides care, support, and research to help you take control of the situation with your family and manage the disease together. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back in on Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. I finally figured it out. Oh my God. I might know what I'm doing. I press a button and all of a sudden the other microphone works, and now I'm back in view and all of that fun stuff, and everyone out there can hear me on the stick. Oh, okay. Now that I am kind of past my little kerfuffle here, you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And happy home day to all of you out there. And I just, once again, I want to thank everyone for listening. I want to thank you for being a part of my life. Yes, and you are a part of my life. Just for the simple fact that I am behind this mic. You put up with my crazy Smurf stuff. Or, yeah, crazy Smurf stuff. My crazy Smurf sayings. My weirdness, and I appreciate you, because without all of you listening out there, I would not be in this chair. And that just goes to, the fact that I am also thankful for, since I'm doing this right now, I am also thankful for WRMN. I'm thankful for Dean, Sonar, Matt, for putting their trust in me to drive this show, to be on the air from 6 to 8 p.m., Monday through Friday, barring Thanksgiving, barring, a Chicago Bears game, barring a Chicago White Sox game. And by the way, you can also tune in and listen to the Chicago Bears on WRMN 1410 AM starting at noon for the pregame show when the Philadelphia Eagles will be taking on our Chicago Bears. That's the pregame. Pregame starts at noon. Game time, 2 o'clock kickoff. And oh, I just looked over, and yes, no, I did not pay the bills. I'm sorry. Thank you on the YouTube listeners for saying that I look a little bit better off screen, but I do appreciate y'all. I do appreciate you giving me Smurf, because without all you, I wouldn't be here doing the thing that I absolutely love, and I am thankful for that. And by the way, if you want to be a part of this weird Wednesday, weird, wacky Wednesday, whatever you want to call it, this hump day, feel free to call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. And or if you don't want to get on the line, call in it or text at 505-926-1410. That is 505-926-1410. Just got an impromptu text out there that I cannot read, but that is pretty much why I just got sent off the rail. Oh, hey, Susie C. of the WRMN Morning Show. Thank you for hopping on the YouTube. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat room there. And don't forget, it will be Dino tomorrow with Carly in studio at 6 a.m., followed by the 7 o'clock hour with David Tees and surprises along the way to get your Thanksgiving Day started here. So what are some of the things that you guys are thankful for? Please do me a favor, call in. If there was ever a time that you needed to call in, please call in right now at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. And, without a doubt, as I had mentioned, I really appreciated, the different championships that our Chicago teams have had over the course of the past few years, because without it actually being able to experience that, well, I mean, I would be devoid of happiness, and I would think that my sporting life would have been a little less. But let's take the Chicago Bears right now, since they are the team that has been the longest to win a championship. And they are currently 8-3 on top of the NFC North Division. And they are trending in the right direction. With that being said, I am thankful that it seems like they are finally turning the corner, turning the page on the organization. And with that being said, it is a good thing, because I really love the Bears. And over the course of the last few seasons, plural, going way, maybe all the way back to 2018. Yeah, I know some of you on the YouTube line aren't Bears fans, but, so therefore you haven't had to suffer, the ineptitude that the Chicago Bears have, kind of put us through. Going back to the last time that I believe that they were in the playoffs, 2018, taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, and the double doink of a game, and the lack of coaching that we've had. But I don't want to go down negativity road right there. You've got the new team president, Kevin Warren, that joined the Bears org in 2023. Thank you, Kevin Warren, for turning this team around. Hiring Ryan Poles. Well, actually, you didn't hire Ryan Poles. I take that back. I retract that. Where's the rewind button? Where can I? Yeah, but so Ryan Poles, thank you. And maybe it was a tandem thing with Kevin Warren to where we finally, and I say I mean you guys finally hired a head coach that knows what the hell he is doing. Because right now, 8-3, wouldn't have thought that. I mean, I in my heart of hearts, I was thinking playoffs. But with my head, it was wait and see. Now, with that being said, I'm glad that in my heart of hearts, it is beaming with and overflowing with happiness that there's finally a roadmap in what the head coach and the coaching staff is doing. Thank you for that. Thank you to the Bears for their 2 4-game winning streaks this season. It'll be interesting come Friday, but I'll cross that bridge on Monday when I am in next. And thank you for what it finally seems to be some sort of a positive step forward with the actual culture surrounding the Chicago Bears. Because over the course of the last 2 years, especially after last year, but that was a bright and shining spot too, even though they lost 10 games in a row. And, I'm not really going down negativity road here. I'm going down optimistic road here with what I am about to say. And that being is, you got rid of that bum Shane Waldron. Thank you. That was the first, well, not really the first coach firing during the season, because there was a couple of individuals that got let go, but that was for inappropriate behavior, if you will, allegedly. But the first actual offensive coordinator, and then you got rid of Coach Eberflus, which, man, that one right there was all sorts of bravo, because up until that point, Chicago Bears had never fired a head coach mid-season. And after that horribly smurfed up 10-game losing streak where the coach, where Eberflus and Eberflus go hand in hand, clearly didn't know what the hell he was doing. So congrats on being able to turn this barge around. Thank you. And with that being said, the 8-3 season that is currently in progress, thank you for that as well, because this is also giving a whole heaping helping of optimism. The Bears only need to win 2 more games on this season to what I think will be them getting into the playoffs. That right there, huge kudos to the Chicago Bears. And with that, I give a whole lot of thanks. Because right now, the Chicago Blackhawks, they're on the rise. Chicago Bulls, Chicago White Sox, potentially on the rise. Chicago Cubs, don't know. You're currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Cintas. In Aurora, police say the suspect in Saturday night's deadly shooting at the Two Brothers Roundhouse may have found the victim's location through social media. Officers confirmed 24-year-old Jasmine Barclay and 43-year-old Brian Heineman were killed, and a 33-year-old man remains in critical condition. Investigators say Heineman, who had previously dated Barclay, confronted the pair on an upstairs balcony before opening fire and then taking his own life. The Roundhouse has since reopened, and police are urging anyone affected by the tragedy to reach out to local crisis resources or share any information that could help the investigation. In Naperville, a GoFundMe has been launched for the family of 53-year-old Stephen Weigensberg, who was shot and killed at his Arlington Heights workplace on Friday. Police say a co-worker, 53-year-old Juan Medina, took his own life after fatally shooting Weigensberg. The fundraiser aims to raise $40,000 to support Weigensberg's children and help cover immediate needs. Loved ones remember him as generous, community-minded, and deeply devoted to his family. Annually, Thanksgiving is the busiest travel holiday of the year, and this year is no different. Expect records to be broken with nearly 82 million traveling at least 50 miles from home. According to AAA, the domestic travel forecast includes an additional 1.6 million travelers compared to 2024, which sets a new overall record. It will mark the 5th straight year to see an increase in travelers compared to the prior year, following a major dip in 2020 due to the pandemic. Health officials are warning Illinois residents to expect a possible post-Thanksgiving bump in emergency room visits driven by COVID, RSV, and a newly mutated flu strain. A variant of influenza H3N2 called subclade K is spreading across North America and isn't covered by this year's flu shot. Experts say it can hit hard with classic flu symptoms striking suddenly. Right now, overall respiratory illness levels in Illinois remain low, but flu activity is rising slightly, and officials are watching wastewater data for a clearer picture later this week. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So, looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Elgin isn't just a city. It's a community built on connection, innovation, and opportunity. And at the heart of it all is the Elgin Chamber of Commerce. For over a century, the Elgin Chamber has helped local businesses grow, connecting entrepreneurs, advocating for progress and inspiring the leaders of tomorrow. Whether you're a new business just starting out or an established company looking to expand, the Elgin Chamber is your partner for success. Join a powerful network of leaders making a difference in our community every day. Together, we're shaping the future of Elgin, one connection at a time. Elgin Area Chamber of Commerce, where business and community grow together. Call now, 847-741-5660, or go to info@elginchamber.com. Contact Carol Gieske.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 24. Windy conditions with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Looking ahead to Thanksgiving Day, mostly sunny with a high near 32, temperatures falling to around 28 in the afternoon. Currently, it is 31 degrees and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Whether it's morning routines or weekends on the sidelines when the temperature drops, America brings the heat with Hot Hands. Hot Hands are America's favorite hand, toe, neck, and even body warmers to help you stay warm and cozy from head to toe. Hot Hands are fast-acting, they're long-lasting, and they are made right here in the USA. Look for the Hot Hands logo and the bright orange packages at your favorite store or online, and keep doing what you love out there with Hot Hands, warming up America coast to coast.
Step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Ooh, got a little something caught in my throat there with the AM. But, hey, thank you for joining me on this Black Wednesday Hump Day. Or Thanksgiving Eve, if you will. If you are out there, please, 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 please. If you are having a libation or 5 or whatever your limit is, first off, know your limit. Secondly, take care of your bartender who is helping you with those libations. But most importantly, please don't drink and drive and turn this holiday season into a tragedy. There is no excuse for it. Get a ride share, call up a friend, have the bartender or whoever is serving you, call a taxi or whatever for you. But please don't go out there and drink and drive. I don't want to hear any of these Smurfy stories where, there was a fatality or there was an accident. This is not the time of year to do that and have, basically sitting with you for the rest of your life after that. So that is for sure. Just got done, not really lamenting, more along the lines of being positive with the Chicago Bears, the first place Chicago Bears in the NFC North. And then, so what would, I suppose the next best thing that I can remember or sports thing that I can remember would be the Chicago Blackhawks winning their first cup in 2010, going all those many years, and the heartbreaks of 1990 and those amazing teams. You know, the President's Cup winner in 1990. Oh, Jeremy Roenick, Tony Amani, Eddie Belfour. Geez. I mean, that was a hell of a team, only to get swept by the Pittsburgh Sucks Penguins. But 1961 to 2010, and I remember sitting in my parents' living room. My dad, you know, I was sitting on one recliner, my dad was sitting on the other, and man, when that final goal happened, when it finally ticked off the clock, I remember I could have been a jack in a box, just boing, right out of my seat and jumping up and down in the living room, looking over at my dad, rest in peace, Dad, and giving him one of the biggest hugs that I can ever remember giving him. And that is one of those core memories revolving around sports that I will remember till the day that I die. And the day that okay. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm just going to power through right now. Anyway, so there was that. And then, of course, the 2013, 2015, they all held special memories in my heart as well. Then going to, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, because as you could see, if you're looking on the youtube.com at WRMN radio, you could see that I am wearing my Cubs hat. And I wear my Cubs hat on most shows that I do here on Big Top Sports, 1410 AM WRMN, where the Chicago White Sox, 2005. Ooh-wee. Why am I thankful for them? Well, I never, ever, 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 ever thought that I would have seen a World Series championship being won on the north side of town. It's as simple as that. And I was all sorts of messed up, because at that time it was like, oh man, you know, Chicago White Sox. I was deep in my feelings. Why can't the Chicago Cubs do this? You know, I experienced that heartbreaking loss of Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins, back in 2003, and that was a stud team. That was the year of years where the Cubs should have won. That was the Bartman years. Not Bartman's fault. Not Bartman's fault at all. He was just the unlucky schlub that made contact with the foul ball that Moises Alou, said that he could catch, and then years later said that he didn't have a chance at it, and, that poor bastard. Woo-wee. So, fast forward from 2003, Game 7, heartbreak. Game 6, well, really Game 6, heartbreak. Oh, Alex Gonzalez and muffing that surefire double play ball. Anyway, not going down the road of despair here, but 2005, Chicago White Sox. Yes, thank you for winning what would have been my first ever Chicago baseball team championship in my lifetime. I mean, granted, up until that point, you had to wait until 1917. Yeah, but then, you also had to wait for the Cubs since 1908. So, I mean, there's that as well. But as I said, never thought that I would have ever have seen a championship won by a Chicago baseball team had it not been for the Chicago White Sox. That is also a core memory. And something that, I don't think that I will ever ESPN. Oh, wait. Yeah, ESPN seems to think that the Chicago White Sox don't exist. The 2005 White Sox don't exist. One of the best playoff runs in baseball history doesn't exist. I mean, hell, 11-1 in the postseason? Okay. Nope. Didn't exist. Wiped away. They pulled the Jedi mind trick. The 2005 White Sox did not exist. Wipe it from your memory. Yep, but it did. And that's a core memory, so I am thankful for that. I wish I was a little bit more thankful for the Chicago Bulls championships going from 91 to 93 and then again in 96 to 98. I just wasn't really into basketball at that time. And now I wish I was. I do remember watching those games, though. I mean, because it was Chicago basketball. It was Michael Jordan. And, yeah. So, yeah. But then you also have, for me, the great, and I got to look this up right now, because if I'm doing what I'm thankful for, and I'm, a lot thankful for this, and you'll see why in a moment, or, well, you'll hear why in a moment, I should say, with the Chicago Wolves and their, what was it, back in 1998 and 2000, and their championships that they won, because, well, there's a few reasons why. And there's a few dearly departed reasons why I am so thankful for this. And the fact that it was the 1998 and 2000 Turner Cup championships that they won when the Chicago Wolves were in the IHL at the time. And then followed by the 2002 championship that they won as part of the AHL. And they've since won two more back in 2008 and 2022. But with that being said, that was a time when the Chicago Blackhawks absolutely sucked. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. If I'm not mistaken, there was even, a lockout during that period of time. Actually, let me do that real quick. NHL lockout. When did that happen? Yeah, 2004 to 2005. So, back in 2008. No, not that. 2000. Yeah, whatever. But the Chicago Blackhawks, more or less sucked. They just absolutely sucked the air out of all the fun of watching hockey. Just plain and simple. But the Chicago Wolves, on the other hand, not only was it affordable, but it was fun, gritty, nasty hockey. Very entertaining. Very entertaining for this meatball right here. Served with a side of sauce and not gravy. I'll continue my sports thankfulness on the other side of this break. You're currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, the thankful one, Derrick Geyer. Back in a bit.
For nearly 50 years, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council and Kane Senior Council have been dedicated to serving seniors in DuPage and Kane counties. Established in 1975, the DuPage Senior Citizens Council is a volunteer-driven 501c3 non-for-profit organization committed to helping older adults live with dignity. From providing nutritious meals to offering support services, the Kane Senior Council is there every step of the way. With programs designed to enhance independence and quality of life, they're proud to make a difference in the lives of their senior neighbors. To learn more or to volunteer, visit them at 418B Airport Road in Elgin or head to their website at caneseniorcouncil.org. Give them a call at 630-338-0999. That's 630-338-0999. That's the Kane Senior Council, caring for seniors because they deserve to live with dignity and respect. Visit caneseniorcouncil.org or call 630-338-0999 today.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
When your car needs trusted care, think All Around Auto Body in Schaumburg. Family owned for over 30 years, they deliver high-quality collision repair and dependable service from start to finish. Call 847-352-3825. They're located at 501 Morse Avenue in Unit D. Get your vehicle back in shape with the experts who care. All Around Auto Body, where your car is treated like family. Call 847-352-3825 today. Proud sponsors of America's First Responders Fest.
Tune in to Big Top Sports
with Derrick Geyer every weeknight from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
He'll have sports thoughts from the center ring of Chicagoland and to the outer rings from across the nation.
Weather from Chicago Cubs,
White Sox,
Bulls,
Bears,
Blackhawks,
Stars,
Fire,
Boomers, whatever the national story is of the day.
Geyer and his sports czar takes will either have you nodding in agreement,
yelling at the radio,
or in all honesty,
a bit of both.
With the way the Chicagoland sports and sports are in general, there's bound to be
thrills,
chills, and
oh my God moments. So get your snacks and libations ready,
because this is going to be a wild ride.
Big Top Sports with Derrick Geyer's quirky and insightful Fanatics take
will make you feel a little
or a lot better about your Chicagoland sports viewing experiences.
Tune in to Big Top Sports with Derrick Geyer every weeknight from 6 p.m.
to 8 p.m.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. And after this Thanksgiving weekend and all the snow and the cold weather and everything that we are going to be experiencing, you may or may not want to go out and get your car washed. So go to www.britanscarwash.com. That's www.britanscarwash.com. Britain's spelled B-R-I-T-T-A-I-N-S, carwash.com. Located at 1572 Larkin Avenue in Elgin. Sign up. You should get a free car wash. And on my thankful rounds of the Chicago teams that I am thankful for, bringing last, certainly not least, would be the 2016 Chicago Cubs. For the aforementioned 2005 forgotten wonders of the Chicago White Sox, the 2016 Chicago Cubs, because after 108 years and so many dearly departed on this mortal coil, had never, ever experienced seeing a World Series baseball championship brought to the north side of Chicago. And I can actually remember sitting in there in a drinking establishment, if you will, watching that roller coaster of a game after a roller coaster of a season, and after roller coaster of decisions by Joe Madden. And finally, that last final 27th out was recorded in that 2016 season, where, dear God, it looked like Chris Bryant was going to throw the ball away after he was slipping and sliding on that 17-minute rain delay soaked field. And he threw it over to Anthony Rizzo. And he caught that ball, stepped on the bag. It was absolutely euphoric. One of the most exciting, excruciating, joyous sports times that I had ever experienced. And then I cried because I was feeling so many of those emotions at the time, all wrapped up into a ball. And back then, I don't think I would have been comfortable talking about it. But it's kind of funny on how, you progress in life, you get perspective, you mature. Not that I've ever smurfing matured, but yes. And for a Cubs nation, a collective sigh of relief that, damn, they finally did it. And we, not them, not the Chicago Cubs of 2016, we finally won the World Series. Like we had anything to do with it. Like our cheers made that all possible. But it's still, yes, we, us, collectively. And yeah, let me tell you, Game 3, Wrigley Field, wind howling out, Hendricks on the mound, me up in the stands watching the Cubs lose Game 3 of the World Series. Oh my good God. And then for them to go down and fight back to the Cleveland Guardians and pull it out. And the absolute mass of humanity that was around Wrigley Field. I mean, literally around Wrigley Field. Clark and Addison shut down. Sheffield shut down. Waveland shut down. Blocks around Wrigley Field shut down. In what should have been a 2-minute drive to drop off the girlfriend at the time, turned into about 45 minutes because we had to circumnavigate all sorts of neighborhoods. I think at one point in time, I actually had to go down to Lakeshore Drive. Or very close to there. But yeah, I will forever be thankful to that 2016 Chicago Cubs. Because then I was actually able to, again, hug my dad and said, well, you finally saw it. And then we both cried. Happy tears. Happy tears. They were definitely happy tears. Oh, hour one down. I'll actually be talking about real sports on the other hour of this show. Thank you for letting me stroll down memory lane. Thank you for being a part of Big Top Sports. Thank you for listening to WRMN 1410 AM and being part of my extended family, our extended family. Because without you, it all is revolving around you guys. If we don't have the listeners, we have absolutely no one to talk to. So thank you for tuning in to Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer.
When disaster strikes, flood or fire, every second counts. At Emergency Construction Group, they specialize in immediate response and same-day service for any residential, commercial, or industrial emergency across the Chicagoland area. With over 30 years of experience, they've got the expertise, manpower, and equipment to handle any size loss fast. They follow strict IICRC guidelines to restore your property the right way, the first time. Their team values transparency, constant communication, and strong ethical standards because your peace of mind matters. Licensed, bonded, and insured, they're here for you 24/7, 365 days a year. Call 855-4ECG now. That's 855-432-4669. Or visit their website at emergencyconstructiongroup.com. And let Emergency Construction Group put your life back together one step at a time. That's Emergency Construction Group. Your satisfaction is their passion.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 7 o'clock.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Rain-X. Health officials are warning Illinois residents to expect a possible post-Thanksgiving bump in emergency room visits driven by COVID, RSV, and a newly mutated flu strain. A variant of influenza H3N2 called subclade K is spreading across North America and isn't covered by this year's flu shot. Experts say it can hit hard with classic flu symptoms striking suddenly. Right now, overall respiratory illness levels in Illinois remain low, but flu activity is rising slightly, and officials are watching wastewater data for a clearer picture later this week. In Aurora, police say the suspect in Saturday night's deadly shooting at the Two Brothers Roundhouse may have found the victim's location through social media. Officers confirmed 24-year-old Jasmine Barclay and 43-year-old Brian Heineman were killed, and a 33-year-old man remains in critical condition. Investigators say Heineman, who had previously dated Barclay, confronted the pair on an upstairs balcony before opening fire and then taking his own life. The roundhouse has since reopened, and police are urging anyone affected by the tragedy to reach out to local crisis resources or share any information that could help the investigation. In Naperville, a GoFundMe has been launched for the family of 53-year-old Stephen Weigensberg, who was shot and killed at his Arlington Heights workplace on Friday. Police say a co-worker, 53-year-old Juan Medina, took his own life after fatally shooting Weigensberg. The fundraiser aims to raise $40,000 to support Weigensberg's children and help cover immediate needs. Loved ones remember him as generous, community-minded, and deeply devoted to his family. Annually, Thanksgiving is the busiest travel holiday of the year, and this year is no different. Expect records to be broken with nearly 82 million traveling at least 50 miles from home. According to AAA, the domestic travel forecast includes an additional 1.6 million travelers compared to 2024, which sets a new overall record. It will mark the fifth straight year to see an increase in travelers compared to the prior year, following a major dip in 2020 due to the pandemic. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, so share the season with a peppermint mocha. Starbucks signature espresso, velvety mocha, and cool peppermint notes, topped with whipped cream and dark chocolate curls. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Are you like everybody else in the world who has no idea what to get everyone for the holidays? Well, you're in luck. We got you. Hands-free Skechers slip-ins. Because with hands-free Skechers slip-ins, you just step into them and they're on. There's no bending down, no touching, no fuss. Plus, Skechers slip-ins come in everyone's favorite styles and colors. And you can get slip-ins everywhere stylish footwear is sold, including a Skechers store. Or if you're too busy to shop in person, just get them online at Skechers.com, Amazon, and more.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Hot Hands. In Naperville, a GoFundMe has been launched for the family of 53-year-old Stephen Weigensberg, who was shot and killed at his Arlington Heights workplace on Friday. Police say a co-worker, 53-year-old Juan Medina, took his own life after fatally shooting Weigensberg. The fundraiser aims to raise $40,000 to support Weigensberg's children and help cover immediate needs. Loved ones remember him as generous, community-minded, and deeply devoted to his family. Annually, Thanksgiving is the busiest travel holiday of the year, and this year is no different. Expect records to be broken with nearly 82 million traveling at least 50 miles from home. According to AAA, the domestic travel forecast includes an additional 1.6 million travelers compared to 2024, which sets a new overall record. It will mark the fifth straight year to see an increase in travelers compared to the prior year, following a major dip in 2020 due to the pandemic. Health officials are warning Illinois residents to expect a possible post-Thanksgiving bump in emergency room visits driven by...
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast, brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 24. Windy conditions with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Looking ahead to Thanksgiving Day, mostly sunny with a high near 32, temperatures falling to around 28 in the afternoon. Currently, it is 31 degrees and overcast. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Whether it's morning routines or weekends on the sidelines when the temperature drops, America brings the heat with Hot Hands. Hot Hands are America's favorite hand, toe, neck, and even body warmers to help you stay warm and cozy from head to toe. Hot Hands are fast-acting, they're long-lasting, and they are made right here in the USA. Look for the Hot Hands logo and the bright orange packages at your favorite store or online, and keep doing what you love out there with Hot Hands, warming up America coast to coast.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. From the Chicagoland to lands afar. With Derrick Geyer, your sports czar. The game's the place from field to rink. Hot debates, fast takes, no time to blink. The Windy City roar, the fans ignite. Your circus of sports under radio light. Big Time Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Whew. River Media Network. And thank you for tuning in on this Black Wednesday, Blackout Wednesday, Hump Day Wednesday, Thanksgiving Eve, if you will. And yes, thank you for joining in. A couple of news stories that have crossed or, transpired over the course of the last couple of hours, with it being the Major League Baseball hot stove season. Well, another one bites the dust. Oh, yeah. So Dylan Cease reportedly agrees to a $210 million contract with the Toronto Blue Jays. And that is according to the New York Post's John Heyman. Cease agreed to a 7-year, $210 million contract with the Toronto Blue Jays on Wednesday, following his 2-year tenure with the San Diego Padres. With the team already staring at a projected payroll of $233 million, and this is per Fangraphs, this deal underlines the organization's short-term ambitions in regards to the starting rotation and now has 4 pitchers making at least $16 million or more. Cease might be an insurance policy with ace Kevin Gausman and Shane Bieber heading to free agency in 2027. So right now, I mean, even with the potential work stoppage of 2027 and a heartbreaking loss to the hell-aid Los Angeles Dodgers, this past World Series, well, it certainly looks like they are all in on trying to win next year and trying to figure out what is going on in their office because, I mean, well, hey, good on them for trying to strike while their current window is open. I wish that certain other teams, I don't know if it's the Scrubs or the Cubs or the White Sox or whoever else, if you want to look at it. But, yeah. Hey, take a look at what they're doing. I understand that you just signed, or I understand the Chicago Cubs just signed Maton, a reliever. Okay, we'll see how that, meshes out, comes out. But, yeah, you also need probably a good top of the rotation piece going forward. Yeah, so, well, so much for the dreams of Dylan Cease coming back to the Chicago Cubs, who traded him away to the Chicago White Sox and, all of that fun stuff back then. But anyway, regardless, moving on to college football. Well, it is official now. Brian Kelly reportedly gets LSU's formal termination letter and the latest on the contract buyout. I'm still amazed that teams and boosters in the NCAA do this. But in this article from the Bleacher Report, not the Bleacher Report, but BleacherReport.com by Scott Polsek. Sorry, Scott. Don't mean to butcher your name. Polacek. And this is from, Brian Kelly will reportedly receive his contract buyout from LSU. And this is reported also by ESPN's Pete Thamel and Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports reported Wednesday that LSU informed its former head coach in writing that he was officially terminated without cause. As a result, the SEC school owes him the buyout of approximately $54 million over the course of 6 years. $54 million, 6 years, so that's $9 million a year. Well, that's good work if you can get it. And Brian Kelly has been getting it, so Brian Kelly will most likely be coaching somewhere else next year while making more money on top of the $54 million over the next 6 years. Holy hell, I'm doing the wrong thing. Will someone just give me $9 million? I can't even. Anyway, however, the letter that Kelly received also explains he is obligated to make good faith, responsible, and sustained efforts to obtain jobs, well, okay, there you go, that could mitigate the buyout. He also has to maintain reasonable documentation of the job search, quote unquote. Quote, maintain reasonable documentation of, end quote, the job search. So, well, okay. So, well, that makes sense. I mean, if he needs to look for another job, I suppose that's kind of like, doing the whole workers' comp thing, or not really the workers' comp. Is it workers' comp? No, that's when people get hurt and then they miss work and, then they're injured and no. I know there's a certain term for the termination, but it escapes me at this point. But hell, $54 million. That is absolutely outstanding. Yeah, pity for the kids. Really kind of like shocking when they, are at 5-3. Or he got fired after being 5-3 on the NCAA, tournament and everything. But LSU, when you take those high-profile jobs, you are expected to win and win big and make it to the national championship. So I guess I really can't fault them. No, I still don't understand that. Because you're getting, and as so many coaches have been fired in NCAA or the NFL, you are obligated to pay them what their contract is or their length and, the money regarding until the end of the contract. And, with coaches getting fired in just the NCAA reaching close to like, what was it, $160 million in salary to sit at home and, really do nothing. It really is Thanksgiving in this case for Kelly. Because, well, yeah, you are still getting all that money, which any one of us may or may not kill for. But anyway, you are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. I'll be back on the other side of this break.
Systems run everything. Government, economy, media, justice. They shape your choices, your opportunities, your future. But do they work for you or against you? On Apolitical Talk Show, we break them down. Not to destroy, but to understand. Because if you don't see how the system works, you won't see when it's being manipulated or who's benefiting from it. Power belongs to those who know the rules, challenge the loopholes, and demand accountability. That starts with knowledge. That starts here. Join us weekdays from 4 to 6 p.m. as we uncover what's really happening behind the headlines so you can decide for yourself what's fair, what's broken, and what needs to change. Apolitical Talk Show, breaking down the systems to build them up together. Right here, weekdays, 4 to 6 on WRMN, the talk of the town.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
This is Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town WRMN. National news at the top of every hour and local news and weather at the bottom. Find more information about programming and current events at WRMN1410.com. News, weather, and entertainment across the Fox River Valley here on WRMN 1410 AM, the talk of the town.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM with yours truly, Derrick Geyer. And before I continue, I just want to send a specific shout out to the production team and everyone that made it possible this year for me to be doing color commentary on Hampshire Whippers football. And so my broadcast partner, Jeff Myers, the man behind us, Bruce Shipure, and then the man manning the camera as well, that would be Andrew Scheid. And, you know, none of this would have been possible without the help of Grant Lentz out there. Big fan of the Whippers, family man that also has kids in the Whippers program, Hampshire Whippers football program as well. And then a special thank you to Dan Jennings, the athletic director as well. And Shane Hack, Coach Shane Hack, the head coach of, the Hampshire Whippers football team. And with that being said, it is championship Illinois 2025 Illinois High School Football Playoff Championship weekend. And without further ado, it will, where am I at here? So let's see. You had matchups of, starting with Division 8A, Chicago Mount Carmel going up against Lincoln Way East. Mount Carmel coming up on top. Or actually, there, oh my goodness, there it is. Mount Carmel, number 1 ranked. Mount Carmel was going up against number 4 Fremd, beating number 1. Take 2. Oh my goodness, this should be so easy, and yet sometimes the squirrels in the bat tower, make it so difficult. Anyway, number 4 Fremd was going up against number 1 Chicago Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel came up on top, 42-21. And on the other side of the bracket, it was number 23 Lockport losing to number 11 Oswego by a score of 10-7. So that means it is going to be number 1 Mount Carmel taking on Oswego in the championship for the 8A bracket. That is going to be downstate in Normal. I believe all of the championship brackets are going to be taking place in Normal. Let's see. 7A. Come on now. You have number 25 St. Rita beating number 13 Batavia by the score of 54-34. And on the other side, it was number 6, Brother Rice, defeating number 15 Downers Grove by the score of 45-17. So St. Rita, number 25, is taking on number 6, Brother Rice. That is also down in Normal at Hancock Stadium. Come on now, load up, load faster. Yeah, let's see what we could see here. I'll just put that up on the YouTube feed. And going into 6A, it was number 1 Nazareth Academy losing to number 11 Fenwick in a heartbreaker, 28-27. I could read numbers too, apparently. And then on the other side, it was East St. Louis absolutely destroying number 10 St. Louis by the score of 50-7. So number 11 Fenwick, holy hell, will be taking on number 8 East St. Louis down at Normal. You know, you need to click on the website to figure where that is or what time that will be playing. All right, 5A. Number 9, St. Francis beat number 2 Belvedere North by the score of 35-13. And number 5, Providence Catholic defeated number 2 Oak Forest by the score of 31-21. So that matchup is going to be at also in Normal, but number 9, St. Francis, is going to be taking on number 5, Providence Catholic at 10 a.m. in Normal. Moving on to 4A. Moving on to 4A. And what have we got? We've got number 1, Montini Catholic, beating up on number 2, Morris, by the score of 47-27. And then number 3, Rochester beat number 4, Breeze Central. That was in a close one as well, 43-42. So that means number 1, Montini Catholic, will be taking on number 3, Rochester. And that game is slated for Friday in Normal in Hancock Stadium at 7 o'clock. Let's see. That was 4A. Getting down to 3A. 3A, we had number 1, Richmond Burton, losing to number 2, Byron, by the score of 44-10. On the other bracket, it was Tolono Unity defeating number 14, St. Joseph Ogden, by the score of 51-44. So number 2, Byron, takes on number 4, Tolono Unity. And that game will also be on Friday at 4 p.m. Moving on, let's see what we can see here. Going on to 2A. Trying to pull this up as we go here. Okay, number 5, Wilmington destroyed number 2, El Paso Gridley, by the score of 41-0. Ouch. And then on the other side of the bracket, it was number 9, Maroa Forsyth, defeating number 3, Arthur Lovington, by the score of 28-6. So that means number 5, Wilmington, will be taking on number 9, Maroa Forsyth. And that game will also be on Friday at 1 p.m. down in Normal at the Hancock Stadium. And let's see, we've down to number 1A here with the 2025 IHSA High School Football Playoffs in Illinois. And it was number 1, Stockton, destroying number 12, Dwight, by the score of 44-0. And of course, it would help if I was reading the right one. That was last week. Well, that was 2 weeks ago, actually. Thumbs here. Wait, hold on a second. Thumbs here. I mean, you can't see me if you're not watching on the youtube.com at WRMN Radio, but I am, in fact, pointing the thumbs at myself. And let me take 2. Number 1, Stockton in 1A play, number 1 Stockton lost to number 3 Lena Winslow by the score of 30-16, and it was number 7 Brown County defeating number 1 Calhoun Brussels by the score of 14-13. Ooh, that's devastating, as I talked about last week. So that means it is in the 1A championship game. It will be number 3 Lena Winslow versus number 7 Brown County. And that game will be taking place at 10 a.m. on Friday as well. Also in normal Hancock Stadium. And since I finally figured out like where or what time the games are going to be playing, I'm going to go back up to 8A real quick. So that 8A game will be taking place on Saturday at 7 p.m. Number 1 Mount Carmel versus 11 Oswego. Number 7A or 7A championship game. That game between number 25 St. Rita and number 6 Brother Rice will also be taking place on Saturday. That game will be taking place at 4 p.m. 6A. This game between number 8 East St. Louis and number 12 Simeon. Nope, wrong one. Number 11 Fenwick taking on 8 East St. Louis will be taking place on Saturday at 1 p.m. And the 5A game between number 9 St. Francis and number 5 Providence Catholic, that will be taking place on Saturday at 10 a.m. All those games, all of these playoff games taking place in normal at Hancock Stadium. For more info, just look up the Illinois website for the IHSA. You're listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley. This update brought to you by Cintas. In Aurora, police say the suspect in Saturday night's deadly shooting at the Two Brothers Roundhouse may have found the victim's location through social media. Officers confirmed 24-year-old Jasmine Barclay and 43-year-old Brian Heineman were killed, and a 33-year-old man remains in critical condition. Investigators say Heineman, who had previously dated Barclay, confronted the pair on an upstairs balcony before opening fire and then taking his own life. The Roundhouse has since reopened, and police are urging anyone affected by the tragedy to reach out to local crisis resources or share any information that could help the investigation. In Naperville, a GoFundMe has been launched for the family of 53-year-old Stephen Weigensberg, who was shot and killed at his Arlington Heights workplace on Friday. Police say a co-worker, 53-year-old Juan Medina, took his own life after fatally shooting Weigensberg. The fundraiser aims to raise $40,000 to support Weigensberg's children and help cover immediate needs. Loved ones remember him as generous, community-minded, and deeply devoted to his family. Annually, Thanksgiving is the busiest travel holiday of the year, and this year is no different. Expect records to be broken with nearly 82 million traveling at least 50 miles from home, according to AAA. The domestic travel forecast includes an additional 1.6 million travelers compared to 2024, which sets a new overall record. It will mark the 5th straight year to see an increase in travelers compared to the prior year, following a major dip in 2020 due to the pandemic. Health officials are warning Illinois residents to expect a possible post-Thanksgiving bump in emergency room visits driven by COVID, RSV, and a newly mutated flu strain. A variant of influenza H3N2 called subclade K is spreading across North America and isn't covered by this year's flu shot. Experts say it can hit hard with classic flu symptoms striking suddenly. Right now, overall respiratory illness levels in Illinois remain low, but flu activity is rising slightly, and officials are watching wastewater data for a clearer picture later this week. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like rugs. People say a rug would really bring the room together. And sure, you don't know what that means, but it sounds important. Suddenly you're using words like jute and sisal. Then you see the price and lose it, because how can the thing you walk and spill on cost so much? So you devote your life to taking down Big Rug. But then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds. So, looks like Big Rug is safe. For now. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Get ready for an unforgettable night out in downtown St. Charles at O-Shows, where live music, dining, and entertainment come alive. Visit the iconic Arcada Theater at 105 East Main Street and experience the venue voted Chicagoland's premier entertainment destination. Whether you're enjoying a headliner concert, dining at Rock and Ravioli, or hitting the speakeasy at Club Arcada, O-Shows creates memories. Tickets and event info at oshows.com, and you can call 630-962-7000. That's 630-962-7000. Make your reservation, bring your friends, and plan your next event at O-Shows. Live music, dining, and entertainment, all in one place. Visit oshows.com and join the fun tonight. Supporter of the America's First Responder Fest.
This is Will Walker with your Fox Valley forecast. Brought to you by Hot Hands, America's favorite hand warmers. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low around 24. Gusty winds up to 45 miles per hour. Looking ahead to Thanksgiving Day, mostly sunny with a high near 32. Thursday night, isolated snow showers before midnight. Mostly cloudy with a low around 20. Currently, it is 30 degrees and overcast. With your Fox Valley forecast, I'm Will Walker on WRMN, the talk of the town.
The holidays are back at Starbucks, so share the season with a peppermint mocha. Starbucks signature espresso, velvety mocha, and cool peppermint notes, topped with whipped cream and dark chocolate curls. Together is the best place to be at Starbucks.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Ladies and gentlemen, step on inside. It's Big Top Sports, your thrilling ride. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland. Football frenzy and hoops so high. Baseball swinging as seasons fly. Hockey blades cutting swift and true. Sports carousel spinning just for you. Big Top Sports, feel the roar. Where the wild games come to score. Geyer guiding the sports band from the heart of Chicagoland.
Hey, and welcome back in to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM. Can I be honest? Can I be honest with the viewers and everything watching on YouTube.com at WRMN Radio and the listeners out there listening on the actual radio or maybe on your WRMN app or the TuneIn or the smart speaker or WRMN1410.com? I got to apologize. That was a rough. And I am wholeheartedly taking responsibilities for my brain not functioning that last 15 minutes or so. That was unimaginable, inexcusable. And I'm sorry. From the bottom of my heart, I am sorry. But with that being said, it could only get better from here. And with that being said, I do feel like I need to say one more time a splendid thank you to all the fine men and women that I have currently worked here with at WRMN 1410 AM. Whether it be the WRMN morning show with Susie C. and Elliot the L Train Serrano, when they let me invade their territory and put ungodly things in my mouth. That's almost every Thursday. It won't be tomorrow because, well, it's Thanksgiving. But usually you could catch that segment on the WRMN morning show on Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. in a segment called What Will Elliot Put in His Mouth? I want to thank Matt McNeil for always being here and always helping me troubleshoot the board or just working things out with my show and letting me also invade his show out to lunch. And for the fine gentlemen that run WRMN AM 1410 here in downtown Elgin in Studio 14, Dino DeLaley and Dennis Sonar Green, thank you for having me. I'll see if I am still employable after that last 15 minutes, but I am going to power through because it is the season of thanking people. And then as well, thank you to my former co-host, Mike Napolitano from On the Rise, who you could hear every Saturday morning on these very airwaves from 10 to noon. And of course, Marcus Mack, who joins me periodically here on Big Top Sports. You could hear Marcus's show on Saturday, and I know he's going to have some comments about the Bears game versus the Philadelphia Eagles, which you could hear on WRMN 1410 AM, starting at noon with the pregame show. Kickoff is at 2. Postgame most likely will be around 5-ish. And hopefully they'll be talking about a Bears win, which will move them to 9-3 and in second place in the entirety of the NFC. Man, that would be absolutely awesome, wouldn't it? Wow. I would truly love to see that. With that, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fantasy football blitz guys with David Tees and John Payne from 9 to 10 on Saturday. But you get bonus David Tees tomorrow. Because why? Because he will be sitting in with Dino tomorrow morning. Dino will be in at 6 a.m., going that whole first hour solo. David Tees will be joining Dino DeLaley in the studio at 7 a.m. So I know they're going to be talking all sorts of Thanksgiving goodness here. And once again, I want to thank the team that without them, I wouldn't have been a part of when we were doing the home games for the Hampshire Whippers high school football team. My broadcast partner, Jeff Myers. The backbone of our team, Bruce Shipure. And then, of course, the athletic director, Dan Jennings. Head football coach, Shane Hack. And then president of the Hampshire Whippers Athletic Boosters Club, Taylor Prostowski. And none of that, absolutely none of that, would have been possible without Grant Lentz and him hooking us up and being able to be a part of the Hampshire Whippers football family. So thank you to everyone that I just mentioned. I appreciate it. And it is really great to be a part of a team. Because make no mistake about it, while my playing days are over, I always it seems like I've always liked to be a part of a team. Once you are in athletics, it seems like. Once you are in athletics, and then all of a sudden that day stops, and that day comes along, and you are no longer part of that team, whether it be, your high school teams, your little league teams, or at least for me, I'm speaking for myself here. Your high school teams. I could give two Smurfs about my college team because they were a bunch of Smurf heads. I guess it's not really thanking, the season, but whatever. I'm just being honest here. But being a part of this good group of people in this WRMN family, it has been nothing short of awesome. And I am very privileged to be here and to be a part of this. Hey, Jeff, are you still listening on WRMN? Radio, youtube.com or youtube.com at WRMN Radio? Because up next, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of NASCAR. I know it's not really my cup of tea, but there is the antitrust suit going on with 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports. They are taking on NASCAR, and this is supposed to start begin December 1st. So with that being said, I'm going to kick it over to the other side. You are currently listening to Big Top Sports here on WRMN 1410 AM.
Looking for a seed buying experience that's more humanized? Ready to trade a company that's oversized for an independent brand that's right-sized? Searching for elite hybrids that have been optimized, tested in your geography, and localized? Did we run out of words that rhyme, so now we have to use metaphysicized? Maybe so. But if you answered yes to any of these questions, then it's probably time you get Wiffleized. Choose Wiffles hybrids this season, and let's get familiarized.
Fitting in shouldn't be hard, whether in life, on the court, or in the classroom. At Elgin Community College, you could find your place alongside those expanding their horizons, exploring rewarding careers, and achieving their dreams. A place for doers, thinkers, and believers. At ECC, we see you, we believe in you, and you'll fit right in. Learn more at elgin.edu/belong.
My name is Ariel. I moved to the U.S. at 19. I spoke no English and I struggled finding job opportunities. Everything I have, I owe to the Adult Literacy Center and getting my high school diploma at age 22.
It was an honor helping you achieve your greatness. Now you're helping others achieve theirs. It inspires me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Find free and supportive adult education centers near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Want to read some action-packed, exciting pulp fiction? Read the works of Michael Tooman, now featuring their international crime thriller, I Married a Bot Madam. Available on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle editions. The paperback is also available at other book retailers. Check out Michael Tooman's webpage at Scilink.net. That's Papa Sierra Yankee Lima India November Kilo. November Echo Tango.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service, better care. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. That's 800-785-1673.
And welcome back into Big Top Sports with yours truly, Derrick Geyer, on WRMN 1410 AM. And before I went to break, I said that I would be talking about a little bit of NASCAR. Well, my dude that is usually here in studios on, Thursdays typically. Couldn't make it tonight, but, he's got to work. He's got a job. He's got a wife. You know how that is. You need to support the family and all that stuff. And he is currently working the Windy City Bulls game down there in Hoffman Estates. So get yours, Mr. Bob Mariner. But I'll try and do the best that I can with this. So, as I said, 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports are currently, they have filed a lawsuit against NASCAR, and that is set to begin December 1st. And what has transpired in the last 10 days or so, and this article is courtesy of FoxSports.com, and it was written by Bob Pockras. And so 2311, 2311 Racing, co-owned by Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan and Curtis Polk, and Front Row Motorsports, owned by Bob Jenkins, have the suit against NASCAR, owned by Jim France and Lisa France Kennedy and their families. So why are they suing? Well, apparently, they opted not to sign the 2025 to 2031 charter agreement and decided to sue under the grounds of antitrust. They claim that to have a premier stock car racing product, NASCAR needs to have premier stock car racing teams. But NASCAR does not provide the teams an economically viable business model. They claim that NASCAR is able to keep competitors from forming for the team's services and therefore can have that non-economically viable business model because NASCAR owns the majority of the bigger racetracks. And for those that it doesn't own, won't do deals to have races there without an exclusivity clause, which requires charter teams to abide by the exclusivity clauses and requires a base cost by the teams because they are required to buy the majority of parts and pieces for the next-gen cars from single-source providers. What does the law say? The law is very broad. According to this article, every contract, combination in the form of trust or otherwise, or conspiracy in restraint or trade or commerce among the several states or with foreign nations is declared illegal. I'm no lawyer. but it sounds like they are looking to have like some sort of monopoly. If I am, in fact, reading this correctly. Now, according to what NASCAR says about this, NASCAR claims that it does not have, or it has not violated antitrust law because it says it has done nothing to restrain trade outside what would be considered normal business practices, and it provides teams with the ability to have an economically viable business model. They cite increases in charter payouts with the new charter agreement. And then, the new charter agreement, which was supposed to be signed this year going into 2031, so 2025 to 2031, as a sign that they are not being anti-competitive. They also say the ability to run open and therefore not be bound by any exclusivity clauses is something that was changed during the lawsuit, and it allows car owners to have options. Will there be a settlement? I'm not really sure. There could be a settlement at any time, but before, during, or after the trial while the case is under appeal. The trial, how long will the trial last? The trial should last approximately 10 days, give or take a day or two, depending on how long it takes for the 6-member jury. There will be 9 jurors, with 3 being alternates, to reach a unanimous verdict. It will take place at the U.S. Courthouse in Charlotte. Who will end up testifying in this? The witness list has not been yet made public, but it's expected to be that Hamlin, Jordan, and France will testify. As many executives from 8 teams, including Rick Hendricks and Roger Penske, could testify as well. And there will be testimony from economic experts on both sides. So basically right there, it's like, oh, well, this is why it's good for this side. This is why it's good for the other side. I have no idea one way or the other, but I mean, in talking to Bob about, the antitrust law, it's like, well, you all need to buy, the parts from, one source. Well, if the parts from one source suck and you're putting those parts in, their cars, well, that doesn't do your car any good. But, that's my layman's term of it, really. Let's see, who has the burden of proof? The teams have the burden of proof, and the standard of proof is the preponderance of the evidence. It is not beyond a reasonable doubt. But, in the previous, the previous paragraph or whatever, it does need to be a unanimous decision from the 6 jurors that will be called on as impartial people to, roll out whether or not that they believe that NASCAR is at fault, or, 2311 and, the other team didn't do a fair enough job of, presenting their case and why it should be an antitrust law, Front Row Motorsports, along with 2311 Racing. So, yeah. I have absolutely no idea. So what happens if 2311 and Front Row Motorsports wins? If the jury rules in favor of 2311 and or FRM, Front Row Motorsports, then the jury decides monetary damages. How much? It could be anywhere from $1 to $300,000 or even more. Which is kind of funny because, Denny Hamlin, Michael Jordan, and the partners or the other partner, what's $300,000? Well, it's still business, but it's still a way of trying to get it. Basically, it's not about the money. It's just trying to go outside and trying to get, the parts that they need for their vehicles to actually go outside of a organization that is supplying exclusive NASCAR parts for their racing teams, and being able to use whatever they want, how they want. I mean, there's already strict regulations and rules on how things should be handled. What happens if NASCAR wins? The teams would remain unchartered and most likely would close by the end of the 2026 season, if not before. NASCAR would have their 6 charters sell, and the teams likely could sell at least some of their equipment to those new team owners. So, sounds like there's a lot at stake for that. And, well, trial is set to begin on December 1st, which is coming up right around the corner next week. Once again, I hope everyone has a happy and safe Thanksgiving. Please, please, please be safe out there. Take the time. Be kind. If you are getting a little inebriated with too many libations, please Uber it, call a taxi, get a ride share. It's not that difficult. If you have the money to spend on alcoholic beverages, you've got the money to spend on an Uber. Chicago Bears, hear them on WRMN starting at noon pregame. This has been Derrick Geyer on Big Top Sports. Happy Thanksgiving, all.
If your idea of therapy involves a fishing rod, a tree stand, or a campfire, then you need American Outdoors Radio. Host John